medicinal benefits, and they're really good for you. They're immunomodulators, and on a personal level, I think that they have a sort of there's a deeper connection between us and mushrooms. Some people even think that they're from another planet, or you can use them to communicate with aliens and whatnot. But as far as, flippant, using maybe certain psychedelic mushrooms for flippant drug use, I don't really do that. I've experimented in the past, but I think it's a very powerful tool people could use, so that's why. But same goes with growing your own food, like plants. Organic, vegan grown, fresh produce is really important, especially in this day and age where it's so hard to get food that's actually good quality and fresh. So. I think it's good in that it kind of reminds people of how things work if you're an artist. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do if you're making art or music. Someone who's really high tier, who has a huge audience, who has the resources available and sort of corporate backing is going to rip off lesser artists. That's what they do. They've always done that since the inception of, the music industry. If we're just talking about music, but with fashion too, those industries are corrupt. They're there to take advantage of people. They don't really care about people. They want you to worship these, famous people for no reason, to put them up on pedestals rather than think for yourself and choose what kind of artists you would actually want to listen to. For most of human history, musicians and people like that really haven't gotten paid very much and held these huge positions of power. And most, classical musicians didn't even become famous until long after they were dead. So this is like a recent thing in the last less than 100 years. And I think it's all BS. And I think it's a good thing because it shows people how the way things work with any kind of art. And C-Punk just overtly puts it out there rather than, letting people be taken advantage of without anyone knowing. It's very obvious that they're ripping us off because we've put it out there, so that's what I always thought the mermaids weren't because in mythology I thought mermaids were vicious kind of, they would lead people to their deaths, and I don't know, I view C-Punk as this high art kind of concept piece maybe, or something that's a lot deeper, and I feel glorifying this kind of this just cartoony version of it kind of just cheapens the whole thing, and they don't really understand the symbolism behind what they're depicting. You don't want to, why would you want to be something like that? It's not something that's good in my mind. If you're claiming C-Punk, then you're a C-Punk, because that's what we're living out day to day. That's how I define myself in my day-to-day life. So why would I be anything else? Yeah. I don't think really any of the websites out there were there was one website that did all of it, like Twitter, Facebook. I think they all played important roles. Frankly, I've used Twitter, SoundCloud, and Facebook more than Tumblr. Tumblr was kind of a side note, and I never really was that into it, and I don't think it had that much to do with what we were doing at all. Most of the stuff I see on there that's labeled C-Punk is just kind of 15-year-old kids making just meme art that I don't think has anything to do with what we do. So, all those websites are just software that people wrote, and we figured out ways to take advantage of it and exploit it to show people what we do. So I really wouldn't give credit to the websites. I'd give more credit to the people involved that are putting out quality content. But that's the way I look at it. I don't know. I would think so, yeah. I mean, that's what we're trying to do, I guess. Um, like, I have a record called C-Punk, and it got put out by Reflex, and that's a very credible label. So, yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't be discussed in 20 years. The content I'm trying to create and my friends are making, it's like actually good, so it's supposed to stand the test of time. I don't really think it's as trendy as people think, and especially with the way things move so fast now. I mean, the fact that it's even been around now for, what, 3 years, basically? 2 or 3 years is kind of impressive. The way things move so quickly, like every month or week, it's like something new.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
I don't know if I could pick a favorite, but the first one that comes to mind would be Mellow Mellow, I Can't Stop, which is pretty good. Yeah, it's just kind of like an organ riff, club song, house track, which I've sampled it actually, but that record's really good. And Black Box, I don't know anybody else, but the a cappella version, I used to listen to that so much. So there's no drum beat, it's just like a hi-hat and this lady singing. It's really pretty. Wow, that has multiple meanings. Yeah, we're saving up some money because we want to move somewhere warmer, like somewhere tropical. I actually want to move to Hawaii, even though it sounds ridiculous. It's completely realistic. It's a part of the United States, and you know, it's really feasible. I want to move to Hilo and eat tropical fruit all day, every day, and that's usually what I just live off of, anyways, is fruits and vegetables. So, but if not Hawaii, definitely somewhere tropical. Maybe Costa Rica. I don't know. I don't think so, but for a while longer, just because it is so hard to not damage my scalp every time I bleach it. But yeah, for a while longer, I like it. I let it grow out and it was like half blue, and then it got really, like, there was barely any left and it was all brown. And I just looked in the mirror one day and I was like, oh, this isn't right. So I had to bleach it again. So I definitely like it for sure. And it's, it's like a cultural statement, It's like saying you're not going with the flow, you're deciding to do something that you want to do.
Stars, man, the stars are beautiful tonight.